Have you ever walked into a room, caught a strange scent, and thought, could that be me? What if the cause isn't something obvious, but hidden in places you never check? And what if these overlooked spots are quietly giving you what doctors call old person smell? Ladies, let's be honest. None of us wants to be the source of that mystery odor. As we age, subtle changes in our bodies and homes can create it. But don't worry, I've got you covered. In this video, I'll reveal the 6 often forgotten areas you must know about to stay fresh and radiant. Trust me, you'll want to watch until the end, because number 6 truly shocked me and will change the way you care for yourself forever. Before we begin, I'd appreciate it if you liked this video. It helps me keep sharing these valuable lessons on aging gracefully. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you do so and turn on the bell so you never miss a new video. If you enjoy this content, comment 1. If not, comment 0, so I can improve future videos for you. Now, let's start with the first spot, behind your ears and neck folds. Here's a personal story that opened my eyes to a hygiene blind spot I didn't even know existed. For years, I took pride in my morning routine, a touch of blush, a spritz of rosewater perfume, and a neatly pressed blouse. But one Sunday after church, my world shifted. My granddaughter, with her bright eyes and innocent honesty, leaned in for a hug. I noticed the faintest wrinkle in her nose, not a grimace, but just enough to make me pause. "Sweetheart," I asked, my heart sinking. "Is something wrong?" With the blunt truth only a 9-year-old can give, she replied, "Grandma, your neck smells kind of funny." I nearly dropped my purse in the church parking lot. Mortified, I hurried home and stood before my bathroom mirror, tilting my head to inspect the spots I'd never considered, behind my ears and the nape of my neck. My makeup was flawless, my hair perfectly pinned, but when I ran my fingers there, I felt it. A faint stickiness, a residue I'd overlooked. It was a wake-up call. Like many women my age, I had always been diligent about cleansing my face, swiping on toner, and keeping my appearance polished. But those hidden crevices behind my ears and along my neck? They'd been neglected far too long. Curiosity got the better of me, so I grabbed my phone and started researching. What I found was both fascinating and humbling. As we age, our skin changes in ways that go beyond wrinkles or laugh lines. One culprit is a fatty acid called non-enol, which our skin produces more of over time. This compound, often described as having a greasy or musty odor, tends to linger in areas rich with sebaceous glands. Those tiny oil-producing factories especially active behind the ears and along the neckline. Add to that the residue from hair products, traces of perfume that never fully wash away, or even sweat collecting in those folds on a warm day, and you've got the perfect recipe for what's known as old person smell. It's not a myth, it's science. And the good news? We can address it with a little awareness. Let's be honest, when was the last time you truly scrubbed those areas? Not just a quick splash in the shower or a half-hearted swipe with a washcloth, but a deliberate, gentle, and thorough cleanse. Now, every morning and evening, I take a warm, damp cloth, add a drop of mild, unscented soap, something gentle like Cetaphil or Castile, and work in small circular motions behind my ears and along the back of my neck. I pay extra attention to the creases where my hairline meets my skin, especially since I wear my hair up in a bun most days, which can easily trap heat and moisture. If you have long hair, wear scarves or shawls, or tend to sweat at night like I do, especially with those unpredictable hot flashes. This step is non-negotiable. Heat and humidity are odor's best friends, and the folds of your neck are prime territory for bacteria to thrive. To make it a daily habit, I even taped a small note to my bathroom mirror. Don't forget the back. Simple, but it changed everything. Since giving these spots the care they deserve, I've noticed a real difference. Not just in how fresh I feel, but in the quiet confidence I carry when I step out the door. My granddaughter hasn't wrinkled her nose once, and every hug now feels like a small victory. It's a tiny act of self-care, but it's proof that little things truly matter. So, take a moment today to check those hidden spots. Your future self and your loved ones will thank you. Now, let's talk about the second area, underneath the breasts. Ladies, it's time for some honest, woman-to-woman talk. No judgment here, just reality. We've all laughed about how our bodies change over time. Remember when we joked they sat high and proud, but now they're playing peekaboo with our waistbands? Gravity is relentless, and as our breasts shift downward with age, they create a warm, dark pocket where skin meets skin. And yes, it often gets sweaty. Not the most glamorous topic, but one we need to address, because it's more common than you might think. The tricky part? You might not even realize it's an issue until it's too late. I first became aware of it during a particularly humid summer. I was wearing my usual supportive bra and a loose cotton blouse, but by midday, I felt an odd discomfort, a subtle irritation under my chest. I brushed it off, blaming the heat. But when I got home and checked in the mirror, I saw it. A faint redness and lingering dampness in the skin fold beneath my breasts. It wasn't painful, but it was enough to make me stop and pay attention, and I'm so glad I did. Medically, this has a name: intertrigo. It happens when skin folds rub together, trapping moisture and creating a perfect environment for bacteria, yeast, or even fungi. The result? Irritation, redness, and yes, an odor that can catch you completely off guard. Intertrigo is especially common in older women with fuller busts, but don't think you're exempt if you're smaller. Even a modest chest can form a fold that traps heat and sweat, especially in hot weather or during physical activity. Layered clothing in winter, tight bras, or simply forgetting to dry thoroughly after a shower can make it worse. The tricky part is that because we're so used to wearing bras or covering up, we often don't notice the dampness until it's already caused a problem. The solution starts in the shower. I make it a point to lift each breast and gently cleanse the skin underneath with a soft, damp cloth and an unscented soap. Harsh cleansers or heavily fragranced washes can irritate this delicate skin, so I stick to something mild, like Dove or a hypoallergenic formula. After rinsing, I dry thoroughly with a clean, soft towel, patting gently to make sure no moisture remains. On humid days or after a long walk, I go one step further, sprinkling a light dusting of cornstarch or a natural talc-free powder, like the one from Burt's Bees, to keep the area dry. Back in my ballroom dancing days, I learned a clever trick from other women: tucking a clean cotton pad, a folded tissue, or a thin strip of soft fabric under the breasts for extra absorbency. It's a game changer, especially if you're on your feet all day. Whenever I share this advice, the reaction is always the same. "Oh my goodness, I thought I was the only one." Trust me, you're not alone. This is something many of us experience, and the key is staying proactive. A sour smell or a damp blouse can chip away at your confidence faster than a bad hair day. But with a little care, you can keep this area fresh and comfortable. It's not about vanity. It's about feeling your best. It's about feeling your best, inside and out. Now, let's talk about the third spot, the inside of your shoes. Let me start with a question that might make you squirm. When was the last time you actually took a good sniff inside them? I'll wait. Most of us have that one pair we can't give up. The trusty slip-ons for quick errands, the sneakers for morning walks, or the classic flats that match everything. We're careful about keeping the outsides clean, wiping away scuffs, maybe even giving them a polish for Sunday service. But the insides? We tend to ignore them, pretending they're not quietly brewing trouble. I learned this lesson the hard way, thanks to my podiatrist, and a pair of beloved orthopedic Mary Janes. A few years ago, I began noticing a faint, lingering odor whenever I kicked off my shoes after a long day. I blamed it on tired feet or maybe a warm afternoon, but it kept happening. Embarrassed, I booked an appointment, bracing for a lecture about foot fungus or some unpleasant diagnosis. Instead, my podiatrist took one look at my shoes and said, "These are the problem." I was stunned. They looked pristine on the outside, but he explained that the real issue was inside. Our feet, he reminded me, have over 250,000 sweat glands each, making them one of the sweatiest parts of the body. When that sweat seeps into the insoles, it doesn't just disappear. It lingers, mixing with dead skin cells, bacteria, and sometimes fungal spores. Over time, your shoes turn into a little petri dish, and that faint odor becomes something you can't ignore, even if you're just running a quick errand. Even a quick trip to the post office can be a reminder. As we age, this issue becomes more important. Our skin gets thinner, circulation slows, and we become more prone to fungal infections or conditions like athlete's foot. Ignoring shoe hygiene isn't just about odor, it can lead to health problems that are much harder to treat. Here's what I do now, and what I recommend. First, the baking soda trick. Every few nights, I sprinkle a tablespoon inside each shoe and let it sit overnight. By morning, the moisture and odor are gone. I just tap it out into the trash and my shoes smell fresh again. Next, insole care. Many people don't realize insoles are removable. Once a month, I pull mine out, soak them in warm, soapy water with a drop of dish soap, rinse well, and let them air dry completely. If they're worn out, I replace them, either with affordable drugstore options or splurge-worthy gel or memory foam for comfort. Then, shoe rotation. I used to wear the same pair every day, but now I rotate between 2 or 3. This gives each pair a full day to dry and breathe. Whenever possible, I place them in the sun, nature's disinfectant, or near a fan. For my leather loafers, I use charcoal inserts. They're reusable, odor-absorbing, and keep shoes smelling neutral even after a long day. And I never forget sock and foot hygiene. Moisture-wicking socks, preferably cotton or bamboo blends, and a quick wash with antibacterial soap before bed, paying close attention between the toes. This routine has been a game changer. I no longer worry about catching an unpleasant whiff when I bend down to pick up a dropped receipt at the grocery store. Fresh shoes mean happy feet, and happy feet mean you can walk into any room with confidence, without a cloud of mystery odor following you. So take a moment to sniff your shoes. If they're telling you a story you don't like, it's time to rewrite it. Your feet, and everyone around you, will thank you. If you're still with me and finding these lessons helpful, drop a number 2 in the comments so I know you're watching. I truly value your time. Now let's move to the 4th spot, your upholstered chairs and recliners. Picture this. It's the end of a long day, and you sink into your favorite recliner, your little haven of comfort. A soft blanket over your lap, a warm mug of chamomile tea in hand, your feet propped up, and for a moment, the world feels perfect. This ritual has been part of your relaxation for years. But here's a thought that might stop you. That very recliner you love may be holding more than just memories. Over time, it quietly collects your body's natural oils, microscopic skin flakes, stray hairs, and the subtle sweat from afternoon naps or long TV marathons. You may not notice, but research shows the average recliner cushion can harbor more skin particles than your mattress. Yes, more than the place where you sleep each night. Every time you settle in, you add to a hidden ecosystem inside the upholstery. Fabrics like microfiber or plush cotton act like sponges, soaking up everything from perspiration to the faint natural scents that come with aging skin. And here's the tricky part. As we age, our sense of smell dulls, a condition called olfactory fatigue. Those odors that slowly build up may become invisible to us. We might think, "My home smells fine," but when a younger family member visits, they might wrinkle their nose and quietly think, "It smells like grandma's house." And let's be honest,
That's not always meant as a compliment. But there's no need to feel embarrassed. This isn't about poor hygiene. It's simply the natural process of living. Our bodies are always shedding, and our furniture quietly takes the hit. The good news? You can take control and keep your upholstered pieces smelling as fresh as the day you bought them. Here's my tried and true routine for keeping chairs and recliners in top shape. Weekly baking soda treatment. Once a week, sprinkle a generous layer of baking soda over the seat, backrest, and armrests. Let it sit for at least an hour, longer if you have time. Baking soda is a natural odor neutralizer, pulling out trapped smells from the fabric. Then, vacuum thoroughly using an upholstery attachment. You'll be surprised at how much fresher your chair feels.
Biannual steam cleaning. Twice a year. Give your furniture a deep clean with a steam cleaner. You can rent one from most hardware stores or hire a professional if you prefer. Steam cleaning not only removes embedded odors but also lifts dirt and oils that settle deep in the fibers. It's an investment that pays off in a revitalized chair and a cleaner home. Aromatic sachets for ongoing freshness. Tuck a small sachet filled with dried lavender, cedar chips, or a blend of both into the crevices of your cushions. The scent is subtle yet inviting, and cedar offers the added benefit of repelling moths. Other fabric-loving pests can also lurk in your furniture, so don't forget armrest maintenance. If your recliner has soft microfiber armrests, pay special attention to them. Armrests act like magnets for skin oils, which can leave them feeling slick and smelling stale over time. Once a week, wipe them down with a damp cloth mixed with a drop of mild dish soap or gentle upholstery cleaner. Then dry them thoroughly to prevent moisture buildup. When your furniture smells clean and inviting, it changes the entire feel of your home. It's not just about the chair. It's about the confidence that comes from knowing your space reflects the care you put into it. A fresh recliner doesn't just elevate your home, it elevates you. Now, let's move to the fifth area, your closet. Brace yourself, because we're stepping into a space that's both personal and, for some, a little intimidating. For many of us, the closet is more than storage. It's a time capsule, a fabric retirement home where clothes, shoes, and accessories go to spend their final years. I half-jokingly call mine Narnia, because once something goes in, it either stays forever or vanishes into some mysterious corner where time seems to stand still. Here's the hard truth. Even freshly washed clothes, if left untouched for too long, can develop a musty smell. That faint, dusty, slightly sour scent clings to your clothing, and the moment you slip on a sweater or jacket, that closet odor becomes your odor. You might be freshly showered and look perfectly put together, but that lingering scent can give you away without you realizing it. Why does this happen? Closets are often dark, warm, and poorly ventilated. Perfect conditions for trapping moisture and dust. If you live in a humid climate or rarely open the doors, the problem gets worse. Fabrics, especially natural ones like wool, cotton, or leather, are highly absorbent, soaking up moisture, dust, and even subtle household odors. Leather shoes, wool coats, and heavy sweaters are especially notorious for holding on to smells like old secrets, turning your closet into a scent archive you never intended to keep. Add to that the lint, skin flakes, dust, stray lint, and the occasional moth in those forgotten corners can all add up to a musty wardrobe. The good news is, with a little effort, you can turn your closet into a fresh, odor-free space. Here's my routine for keeping it, and everything inside, smelling as good as new. Let it breathe. Every few days, open the doors for at least an hour to let fresh air circulate. Think of your closet as a living space. It needs to breathe just like you do. If possible, crack a nearby window to encourage airflow. This simple step helps prevent moisture buildup and keeps odors from settling in. Use odor and moisture absorbers. Place charcoal bags or moisture-absorbing products like damp Rid in the corners. They pull excess humidity and odors out of the air. I keep a small container of damp Rid on the floor and a charcoal bag on a shelf, replacing them every couple of months.
Monthly deep clean. Once a month, take an hour to wipe down shelves, rods, and walls with a damp cloth to remove dust and lint. Vacuum the floor, focusing on corners where debris collects. If your closet is carpeted, sprinkle baking soda before vacuuming for an extra odor neutralizing boost. Declutter regularly. Be honest about what's in there. If you haven't worn that floral blouse since your grandson's christening in 2009, it's time to let it go. Old clothes, even clean ones, can carry a musty smell. My rule is simple. If it smells old, it will make me smell old. Donate, repurpose, or recycle, and give your wardrobe room to breathe. Special care for odor-prone items. Leather shoes, wool jackets, and heavy knits need extra attention. Store them with cedar blocks or lavender sachets to keep them fresh. For shoes, consider using shoe trees or stuffing them with newspaper between wears to absorb moisture and help maintain their shape. A clean, fresh closet isn't just about organization. It's about making sure every outfit you wear carries the scent of care and vitality. When your clothes smell as good as you feel, you step out into the world with a little more confidence. If you're still watching and finding these tips useful, comment the number 3 below so I know you're here with me, and thank you for your valuable time. Now, the 6th area, between your toes. Let's be honest, this one isn't glamorous, but it's critical. We've all been told to wash our feet, but how many of us were taught to wash between our toes? And even more importantly, to dry those tiny spaces thoroughly. As we age, our skin thins, circulation slows, and our feet become more vulnerable to issues like fungal infections. Athlete's foot isn't just for sweaty teenagers. It's surprisingly common among seniors, and it brings an unmistakable odor that can linger in shoes, rugs, and even in the air at home. I'll never forget my friend Doris, name changed for privacy. She began noticing a strange, cheese-like smell in her living room. She scrubbed the carpets, blamed the dog, and even suspected her husband's cooking. After weeks of frustration, she found the real culprit: her feet. Specifically, the damp, neglected space between her 4th and 5th toes. That tiny pocket had become a breeding ground for bacteria and fungus, creating an odor that followed her everywhere. Doris was embarrassed, but she shouldn't have been. This is more common than people realize, and it's preventable with the right habits. Here's my no-nonsense routine. Thorough washing. Every time you shower, use a soft washcloth and a gentle, fragrance-free soap to clean between each toe. Focus on the spots where toes touch, as these are prime areas for moisture and bacteria. A washcloth works far better than simply letting soap run over your feet because it scrubs away debris. Meticulous drying. After your shower, sit down with a clean, dry towel used only for your feet. Gently dry between each toe, making sure no moisture is left behind. No moisture should be left behind. Dampness is the enemy, creating the perfect environment for fungal growth. If you're short on time, use a hairdryer on the cool setting to make sure every crevice is completely dry. Preventive measures. On humid days or after long hours on your feet, sprinkle a light dusting of antifungal foot powder between your toes. Alternatively, dab a tiny amount of tea tree oil in those spaces. It's a natural antifungal and antibacterial agent with a clean scent, but use sparingly. A little goes a long way. Breathable footwear and socks. Choose socks made from natural fibers like cotton or bamboo, and avoid putting on shoes without washing your feet first. If your feet sweat easily, change socks midday to keep them fresh. For shoes, go for leather or mesh styles that allow airflow and give them a full day to air out between wears. Regular foot checks. As we age, it's wise to inspect our feet regularly for signs of fungal infections, cracked skin, or other issues. If you notice persistent odor, redness, or itching, see a podiatrist for early treatment. Your feet have carried you through a lifetime of adventures, and they deserve extra care. By keeping those small spaces between your toes clean, dry, and protected, you'll stop odors from creeping into your shoes, your home, and your life. A sprinkle of powder, a moment of attention, and a little love for your feet can keep you feeling fresh from head to toe. There you have it. 6 often forgotten areas that will help you stay fresh, radiant, and far from that old person smell. Getting older is a privilege, but staying classy and confident is a choice we make every day. Wishing you health, happiness, and peace. And remember to subscribe to my Healthy Aging Blueprint channel.